Hey, so the bulk of Learning Activity 4 is to focus on your semester-long project. You're being asked to create a lesson plan for that project, and you're going to turn that into an e-learning module. That's something that we talk about a little bit more down later in this introduction. But given COVID-19 and how things have changed in the classroom, it's kind of important for you to have access to resources that address the content standards that you have to cover in your classroom. So one of the things that you're being asked to do in this learning activity is to develop a lesson plan that can be taught virtually, and you will then create that virtual module and share it with your classmates. So there's some more information about this later on, but that's just kind of prep yourself for that idea. One of the other things that you're doing that's connected to your semester project, if you choose to, is to review a module for NSTA. If you're thinking ahead and you're doing your semester-long project, for example, on the Moon Journal, you're doing a Moon Journal for your project, you may choose NSTA modules that connect to the stars or astronomy or standards that are related to your grade level and the moon. If you're doing one of the books, you have some options on what you want to choose, and I suggest that you try to make those NSTA modules connect, simply because it gives you additional resources to use for that project page. All right, so as we keep going down, if you remember option 1, you kind of know what you want to do. You're going to meet with your Hangout group, and this is one of the times that you are going to have a different Hangout group, and I do want you to participate in Hangouts for the semester-long project because it's really helpful in solidifying your understanding of what you're doing and why you're doing it. There are questions that should guide the discussion for each of these. Now, I do have an option for discussion boards, but as I said, I would rather you do a Hangout discussion because I think you get a lot more out of that. I call it Hangout discussion. It's actually a Google Meet now, but old habits die hard. I've been using those for about 10 years, so hopefully that will help you as well. All right, so as we go down through here and talk about this, there's a connection. If the learning activity has any connections to your semester-long project, that's actually going to be included in this information section. So for connecting to the semester-long project, you're obviously having your first small group discussion over your topic. You're doing a lot of the work. So this is, I think, more emphasizing option 2. If you're working on a book, then you need to be delving into the book, reading, figuring out what your book is about, because you have to create an overview of your resource. So one of the things that you see later on that you've seen throughout is a rubric that connects to that semester-long project. In that, it asks for evidence of completing the work. So if you've done a journal, obviously there's journal entries. If you've reviewed a book, maybe you create a PowerPoint or a video that tells us about the book itself. And then you're creating that lesson plan. So you have 2 weeks for this learning activity because there are a lot of things that have to happen there. Your checklist, I think I might have set up a little bit differently this time. So you have a section that's related to NSTA. You have a section that's related to your semester-long projects. And then you have your e-learning module. I expect you to start this e-learning module in Learning Activity 4. It does not have to be completed until LA 8. I want to give you ample time to try to get it done because I'd like it if you could actually try it out on some students. I don't know if that's always going to be an option, but it would be beneficial for you if you could. Okay, so your overview of the LA 4. As I said, semester project is the focus of this whole thing. You've already decided on what you're doing with it. Now I want you to create a lesson plan. If you are perchance using a book as your resource, I don't want a copied lesson plan out of that book. I want something that addresses the 5E learning cycle. I want something that can be used in your classroom, and I want something that is developed by you. It's a little more challenging, but I think you all know what you're doing with this, and I have complete faith that you can make it happen. So as you've looked through that, then we're going to create an e-learning module. So this e-learning module, I've got samples for you. I have information on how it's going to happen. It doesn't have to be finished this time. Okay, so I want to show you something really quick to kind of make it make more sense. Your lesson plan for your semester project is an individual assignment. You're going to give that to, you're going to turn it in this Dropbox during LA4. If you finish your e-learning module, you can turn it in here as well. Or you can wait and turn it in LA8. Either is fine. I just want you to have time and a place to do that. Your NST Module 1 discussion board. You're going to post that. Make sure you respond to a couple of people. I think it's 2, maybe 3. I think it's 2. And then your small group discussion. There's information here. So let's look at that topic. And if I remember, I did mention that there are questions to guide your thinking. So for small group discussion 1, if you're in self-study, this is what your group will talk about. Option 2, this is what your group will talk about. And each student is going to type up your notes and upload it to the Dropbox or upload it to this discussion board. If you would like on this one, I could be okay with one person typing up the notes and posting it as long as everybody's name is on there. But it's only going to be for that first discussion that you need that one person can just turn in the notes. In discussion 2, everybody's going to have to turn something in because I want an update on how everybody's doing. Okay, so I believe this kind of walks you through everything that is expected and everything you should be able to address in LA4. This walks you through the old site and how to find things. This gives you specific modules, so it kind of talks over the directions and things like that. But find things that work for you and that can be used in your classroom. And if you have questions, let me know and enjoy yourself on this one.